My beloved child. Pause for just a moment, because what you are about to hear has been waiting for the exact moment your eyes found these words. Do not rush away. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a reason your heart feels different right now. There is a reason you suddenly felt drawn to this message instead of everything else around you. Some moments are ordinary, but this is not one of them. At this very moment, someone connected to your destiny is carrying a weight they can no longer hide. Your soulmate needs to talk to you immediately. Because something big just happened. No, it is not what everyone assumes. It is deeper than a simple conversation. It is more powerful than a coincidence. And before this message reaches its final moment, you will understand why the silence between you has never meant the absence of love. Don't skip. Every second matters. Stay until the end because something huge is waiting for you. For a long time, your soulmate believed they could keep everything inside. They convinced themselves that if they remained quiet, the storm inside their heart would eventually disappear. But hidden truths never stay hidden forever. The heart has its own language. And when that language can no longer be ignored, even the strongest walls begin to crack. That is exactly what happened. Earlier than anyone expected, an unexpected moment changed everything. It wasn't planned. No one saw it coming. One ordinary moment suddenly became unforgettable. A simple object. A familiar place. One unexpected reminder. And suddenly your name echoed inside their thoughts with a force they could no longer resist. They stopped. They looked around. The world continued moving. People walked past them without noticing anything unusual. But inside their heart, everything had changed. It felt as though time itself had paused. A memory they had locked away returned without warning. A promise they once whispered. A dream they once imagined. A future they secretly hoped would still exist. All of it came rushing back at once. That single moment shattered every excuse they had been hiding behind. They realized something they had been trying not to admit. Running away from their feelings had never erased those feelings. It had only delayed the inevitable. Don't skip. Because the next part changes everything. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the day continued, they tried convincing themselves it was only emotion. They tried distracting themselves. They focused on work. They spoke with other people. They kept themselves busy. But every distraction failed. Every road somehow led back to you. Every quiet moment became louder. Every thought became clearer. Then another unexpected event happened. Someone asked them a question. It sounded simple. It seemed harmless. But the answer refused to come. Because every truthful answer pointed toward the same person. You. They smiled politely. They changed the subject. Yet inside their heart, something finally surrendered. For the first time in a very long time. They stopped pretending they were fine. They admitted something to themselves that they had avoided for far too long. I still need to talk. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Immediately. Because what happened today changed everything. They realized that waiting any longer could become the greatest mistake of their life. Meanwhile, you may have wondered why certain emotions have been stronger lately. Why familiar memories suddenly appeared without explanation. Why your heart occasionally felt unusually heavy before becoming strangely peaceful. Those moments were not random. Sometimes two hearts connected by genuine affection experience unseen echoes. One heart begins speaking before the other even hears the words. That is why today feels different. Your story has quietly entered a new chapter. Not because everything has already happened, but because everything has finally started moving again. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Imagine standing outside a closed door. 4 months. Maybe even longer. Nothing moved. Nothing changed. You almost believe nobody was behind it. Then, without warning, you hear footsteps. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just enough to remind you that someone has been there all along. That is exactly what your soulmate experienced today. Hope returned. Not perfectly. Not completely. But enough to awaken everything they had buried. And once hope awakens, it becomes impossible to silence. Their heart is no longer asking whether they should speak. It is asking how soon they can. Because every hour they remain silent feels heavier than the last. Yet there is still one obstacle. One final hesitation. One final question they must answer inside themselves before they reach out. That question has nothing to do with whether they care. It has everything to do with whether they believe they deserve another chance. That is the battle taking place right now. A battle no one else can see. A conversation happening entirely inside their heart. Part of them says, "Reach out." Another part whispers, "What if it's already too late?" That single question has kept them frozen. But today's unexpected event made something painfully clear. Doing nothing now hurts more than risking honesty. That realization changed everything. It became impossible to ignore. It became impossible to postpone. It became impossible to hide. Don't skip. Because what comes next is even more important. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. If your heart has been quietly telling you that change is approaching, listen carefully. Not because every feeling predicts the future, but because meaningful moments often begin with quiet changes before they become visible. Today's story is about courage. About truth. About the moment someone finally stops running from what matters most. Your soulmate now stands at the edge of one important decision. A decision that could completely change the direction of both of your lives. They have something they believe you deserve to hear. Something they wish had been spoken much sooner. Something they can no longer carry alone. The question is no longer whether they want to speak. The question is whether they will find the courage before another opportunity slips away. And that answer is closer than anyone realizes. Stay with this journey. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. The next chapter reveals the extraordinary event that convinced your soulmate they could not remain silent for another day. And the message they have been carrying inside their heart is unlike anything you expect. Listen carefully, because the silence that has surrounded this story is about to break. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The moment your soulmate finally accepted that they could no longer hide their feelings, another unexpected event unfolded. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic enough for the world to notice. But to them, it felt as though every unanswered question suddenly found the same answer. It happened in the middle of an ordinary day. They were trying to move forward, convincing themselves that keeping quiet was the safest choice. Yet every step they took seemed to bring them back to the same destination. You. No matter where they looked, memories quietly followed. A familiar song. A familiar street. A familiar smile on someone else's face that reminded them of yours. Each moment whispered the same message. You cannot keep running. Don't skip. Because what happened next changed everything. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. For the first time in a long while, they stopped asking themselves whether you still mattered. Instead, they began asking something completely different. What if I lose the chance forever? That single thought shook them more than anything else ever had. Until now, they believed there would always be another day. Another opportunity. Another conversation. Another chance. But today made them realize that tomorrow is never guaranteed. And when that understanding settled into their heart, every excuse they had been hiding behind began to disappear. They remembered conversations that once made them smile. They remembered promises left unfinished. They remembered dreams they quietly built, even when no one else knew they existed. Those memories no longer brought regret alone. They brought determination. For the first time, fear was no longer stronger than hope. Stay with this story. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. As evening approached, your soulmate found themselves staring into complete silence. No distractions. No noise. Just their own thoughts. Sometimes silence tells the truth louder than words ever can. In that silence, they admitted something they had never spoken aloud. I don't want this story to end without telling them everything. The sentence echoed inside their heart again and again. They imagined what they would say if they had only one chance. Would they apologize? Would they explain? Would they simply tell you how much you have remained in their thoughts? Every possibility crossed their mind. Every emotion felt real. Every heartbeat carried the same urgency. Then something unexpected happened. They reached for their phone. Their fingers hovered over the screen. They searched for your name. For several long moments, they simply stared. Not because they didn't know what to say, but because they wanted every word to be honest. Every message felt too small for everything they had been carrying inside. Every sentence seemed incomplete. So they put the phone down again. Not because they changed their mind. Because they wanted the moment to be right. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Meanwhile, something inside you may have been quietly changing as well. Perhaps you've felt more reflective lately. Perhaps certain memories have appeared without warning. Perhaps your heart has been preparing for something without fully understanding why. Sometimes important conversations begin long before the first word is spoken. Sometimes two hearts begin moving toward each other without either one realizing it. That journey has already begun. Your soulmate is no longer asking whether they should speak. They are preparing themselves for the moment they finally do. The hesitation is fading. The fear is losing its grip. And courage is growing stronger with every passing hour. This isn't about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about finally saying the words that should never have remained hidden. Don't skip. Because the next part reveals what your soulmate is finally ready to confess, and why they believe waiting any longer could change everything forever. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. A quiet truth is about to rise to the surface, and once it does, nothing will feel quite the same again. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate spent the entire night replaying every moment they wished they could relive. They weren't searching for the perfect memory. They were searching for the moment everything changed. When did the distance begin? When did silence replace the conversations that once felt so effortless? When did fear become louder than hope? Those questions refused to leave their mind. For hours, they walked through old memories, one after another, hoping to understand how two hearts that once felt so connected could become separated by so many unspoken words. But then, a single realization stopped every thought. The problem had never been a lack of love. The problem had been a lack of courage. That truth struck their heart harder than they expected. Don't skip. Because what happened next made them realize they could no longer remain silent. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As dawn approached, they made a decision. No more pretending. No more hiding behind excuses. No more waiting for the perfect time. They understood that perfect moments rarely arrive on their own. Someone has to create them. And for the first time in a long while, they decided they wanted to be that person. They picked up a notebook. Not to write a grand speech. Not to impress anyone. But simply to be honest. The first sentence came slowly. Then another. Then another. Soon, the page was filled with thoughts they had kept buried for far too long. They admitted the nights they secretly missed you. They admitted the smiles they could never explain whenever your memory appeared. They admitted the regret they carried for every opportunity they allowed to slip away. Every word felt like removing a weight from their heart. For the first time in what felt like forever, they felt lighter. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Yet even after writing everything down, one important question remained. Would they actually share it? Or would these words remain hidden forever? They stared at the pages in silence. Part of them wanted to fold them away and never look again. Another part whispered. If they never know the truth, you'll always wonder what could have happened. That whisper grew louder. It refused to disappear. It followed them through every hour of the day. Then something unexpected happened. Someone close to them spoke a sentence that seemed ordinary. You don't always get another chance. Those words echoed through their heart like a bell. It wasn't advice directed at you. It wasn't even about relationships. But somehow, it felt as though those words had been waiting for them all along. In that instant, every hesitation began to crumble. They realized that fear had already stolen enough time. They refused to let it steal any more. Don't skip. Because the biggest moment is getting closer. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. While all of this was unfolding, your soulmate began imagining what the conversation with you might be like. Would you listen? Would you smile? Would there be awkward silence before the first honest words? Or would everything finally begin to make sense? They couldn't predict your response. But one thing became absolutely certain. Keeping quiet was no longer an option. Even if the outcome remained uncertain. The truth deserved to be spoken. That decision brought a peace they hadn't felt in a very long time. Not because every problem had disappeared. But because they had finally chosen honesty over fear. Their heart was no longer carrying its burden alone. It was moving toward a new beginning. One careful step at a time. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the sun began to set once again, they looked at the message they had carefully prepared. Their hand hovered over the send button. Their heartbeat quickened. Every second felt longer than the last. They closed their eyes for just a moment. Took one deep breath. And quietly whispered to themselves. It's time. What happens in the next chapter will reveal the words your soulmate has been longing to tell you, why they believe this conversation cannot wait any longer, and the unexpected twist that neither of you could have imagined. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. Everything was leading to this moment, the moment that could no longer be delayed. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. With trembling hands and a heart filled with emotions they could no longer suppress, your soulmate looked at the message one final time. Every sentence carried a piece of their heart. Every word reflected months of silence. Every pause between the lines held memories they had never stopped carrying. They asked themselves one final question. What if this changes everything? For a brief moment, fear returned. The fear of being misunderstood. The fear of hearing nothing in return. The fear that perhaps too much time had already passed. But another voice inside them spoke even louder. What if this is the very moment you've been waiting for? That single thought gave them the courage they had been searching for. Don't skip. Because what happened next surprised even them. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They pressed the send button. For a second, the world seemed to stand still. Their heart raced. Their breathing slowed. There was no taking the words back now. The truth had finally left their heart. Instead of feeling panic, they felt peace. Not because they knew what would happen next, but because they had finally stopped hiding. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply having the courage to be honest. And that courage changed something deep inside them. They no longer felt trapped by yesterday. For the first time in a long while, tomorrow seemed full of possibility. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the minutes passed, they resisted the urge to check for a reply every few seconds. They reminded themselves that real conversations cannot be rushed. Patience became their greatest challenge. Yet even while waiting, something extraordinary happened. The heaviness they had carried for so long began to disappear. It was as though speaking the truth had opened a door they thought would remain locked forever. Their smile returned. Not a forced smile. Not one meant for anyone else. A genuine smile that came from knowing they had finally chosen honesty over fear. Meanwhile, the story was quietly moving toward another unexpected turn. The conversation they hoped for was no longer just a dream. It had become a real possibility. And possibilities have a remarkable way of changing lives. Don't skip. Because the biggest revelation is still ahead. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Whether the first response arrived quickly or took time no longer mattered as much as it once did. Your soulmate realized something important. Love is not only found in perfect outcomes. Sometimes love is found in the courage to tell the truth, even when the future remains uncertain. That lesson transformed them. It made them stronger. It made them kinder. Most importantly, it reminded them that genuine feelings should never remain hidden forever. The journey that began with silence had finally become a journey of honesty. And honesty has a way of opening doors that fear keeps closed. As this chapter comes to an end, remember this. Some conversations arrive exactly when they are meant to. Some hearts need time before they discover the courage to speak. And some stories become unforgettable because they refuse to end in silence. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the next chapter reveals the unexpected response, the emotions that neither of you expected, and the surprising new beginning that starts the moment two hearts finally stop hiding the truth from each other. Just when it seemed the hardest part was over, an even greater surprise quietly began to unfold. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The hours that followed felt longer than your soulmate could have imagined. Every sound made them glance toward their phone. Every vibration made their heartbeat race. Yet they kept reminding themselves that some answers cannot be hurried. Some moments need space before they reveal their purpose. Still, deep inside, they carried one hope. Not for a perfect ending, but for an honest beginning. As the evening grew quieter, something unexpected happened. Their phone lit up. For a brief second, they froze. They didn't reach for it immediately. Instead, they simply stared, almost unable to believe that the moment they had imagined so many times had finally arrived. Their heart whispered, "This is it. Don't skip." Because what happened next changed the direction of everything. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. With a deep breath, they unlocked the screen. The first words they saw were simple. Gentle. Honest. Yet those few words carried more comfort than they had felt in months. It wasn't about dramatic promises. It wasn't about perfect answers. It was about one thing they had been longing to know. That the conversation was finally open. That silence no longer stood between two hearts. In that instant, every fear that had held them back began to lose its power. They realized something beautiful. Sometimes the greatest miracle isn't hearing exactly what you expected. Sometimes it's simply discovering that the door was never truly closed. Your soulmate felt hope returning. Not as a sudden wave, but as a quiet sunrise after a long night. Slowly. Warmly. Steadily. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the conversation continued, memories once left unfinished began finding their place again. They laughed about moments they once believed were forgotten. They spoke about things they had never dared to say before. They admitted mistakes without hiding behind excuses. Every honest sentence built another bridge where distance had once existed. For the first time in a very long while, they weren't speaking from fear. They were speaking from the heart. And that made all the difference. The conversation wasn't rushed. Neither of you tried to force the future. Instead, something much more valuable happened. Trust quietly began returning. One word. One smile. One sincere moment at a time. Don't skip. Because the greatest revelation has not arrived yet. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then, during one quiet pause, your soulmate shared the truth they had carried for so long. I almost stayed silent forever. Those words were followed by complete silence. Not an uncomfortable silence. A meaningful one. The kind of silence that speaks louder than any speech. Because both hearts understood what those words truly meant. They weren't talking about one message. They were talking about every opportunity that fear had nearly stolen. Every chance that almost slipped away. Every feeling that had remained hidden behind uncertainty. At that moment, your soulmate made another promise to themselves. No matter what tomorrow brings, I will never let fear speak louder than honesty again. That promise changed them. It gave them a strength they didn't know they possessed. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the night came to an end, they looked up at the sky and quietly smiled. Not because every question had been answered. Not because every challenge had disappeared. But because hope had returned where silence once lived. The story that once seemed ready to fade had found a new beginning. And deep inside, your soulmate knew this was only the first chapter of a much greater journey. There were still dreams to share. Still memories to create. Still conversations waiting to happen. The biggest surprise wasn't simply that they finally spoke. The biggest surprise was discovering that honesty had the power to heal what fear had kept apart for so long. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because in the final chapter, you'll discover the heartfelt promise your soulmate makes for the future, the unexpected sign that fills both hearts with renewed hope, and why this conversation becomes the beginning of a completely new journey that neither of you will ever forget.